Hey, we kind of have live issues from time to time. So please let me know if everything is okay. Oh god, I forgot how awkward this is. Guys, I'm so happy to be back on these live streams. I don't know if I'll do them regularly yet, because I'll be honest with you, the crypto community really pisses me off. But if this vibes well, then I'm definitely keen on it. So let's get an audio check and various different things like that. The first thing I want to cover, some very short-term analysis, is on the 1 minute chart. It is now 3 minutes past 5 p.m. in the UK. And I got $1 million voice. Thank you, Billy. I'm going to be reading through the comments, guys. What I've done is I've Control-F'd the words question like that. So if you type in question in all caps with a colon and you write your questions, I'm going to be going through every single question as long as it's not a waste of time, that kind of thing. So be sure to drop them. I'm going to be reading the chat as I go along. First thing I want to cover for you guys is the 4-hour candle. The 4-hour candle is just closed before I went live here, and we have got a bullish setup on the very short-term time frames. We've now confirmed 3 candles trading in the $6,300 range. This is a very typical bullish little triangle for me that I'm seeing here. A bit of a rising wedge going there. I was telling you guys we had a bullish setup at 69.50, a bullish setup at 59.50, 5,800, guys. The bull flags are everywhere. These bullish continuation patterns are just popping up everywhere. It is absolutely beautiful. I'm feeling the analogies coming to me already. I've already thought of some Game of Thrones analogies, so spoiler alert, by the way, if you are keen on keeping up to date with that. Yeah, got a lot to go through, so what I'm going to do today, guys, is my regular analysis, and then I'm going to go through the comments, so just drop your questions as we're going through it. The first thing I want to do, I think it makes a lot of sense right now. I haven't made a video since we hit the $6,000 range. The first thing I want to do, guys, is show you why it was so obvious we were going to hit the $6,000 range. Obviously, we were expecting this for a very long time. I was calling for it way back. I didn't call for the $6,000 level, actually, because it was too far away. I called for the $4,000 and $5,000 levels way back at 3,300, but it's really obvious if we're going to break those levels. The only resistance was at 5,500, which I warned you guys about, and we traded there sideways for about 30 days, but after that, there really wasn't much to be worried about with regards to resistance, and that's why I think we found it very easy to hit the $6,000 level. But guys, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's take a look at what's been going on, and really, we are about to hit the point of control now. It is absolutely beautiful. This is every good technical analyst's wet dream to get to get a setup like this, where we have mooned up from 3,100 all the way to 6,300. Guys, this is a 99% gain. I'm going to take this disclaimer off now because that's a little bit annoying. This was a 99% gain, which is absolutely amazing. We're about to hit the point of control on this chart, or it's not really the point of control because the $3,000 range was so extended, but we're about to hit a very significant spike on the VPVR graph. This is after a 99% rally to the upside. We have technically ended the bear market since 3,100, since I believe December the 17th, 2018. It's been moving really nicely. Let's hide all of these things. So I'm just loving the way that it's been playing out. And then if we look at the weekly chart, we're actually seeing what I think is a very overextended, very funny picture. I actually posted this earlier today. Did this, I don't know, it was... what was this, 10 a.m. or something. It's just funny. I only wrote lol in this, laugh out loud. I only wrote this in this post. It's just funny. It's the weekly graph. I'll show it to you a little bit better in this case. I mean, this is just a straight bloody ascension. It wasn't that surprising. I was telling you guys, if we do break the $4,000 resistance, we are going to rocket higher. I didn't think it would be as quick as it was. It was literally 10 minutes. But, I didn't think it would take a long time either. 5,500, I didn't think we would find so much trouble there, but we ended up breaking it anyway, which was completely expected. We had all those resistance areas up until the point of control. If we trace this blue line that's hitting right at the point of control there, We were tracing this, we were seeing it coming from a very, very long time away, and so it's just kind of finding some resistance now, I would hope anyway, at this range. It looks really, really clear to me. We look at the weekly graph, and this is just a straight ascension higher, at a time where, yeah, the strongest resistance Bitcoin has ever had is right here. We are right here. Now, a few things I want to cover with you guys. The first thing, I'm not 15, Sun King. The first, I'm a little bit older than that, thank you. Sorry. The first thing I want to cover is, shit, I forgot. Oh, yes, it's the strongest resistance that Bitcoin has ever had. And, you know, when we are at resistance levels, so let's cast our minds back to, you know, a lot of you guys have been around since the bubble pop at 2017. I want to cast your minds back to what happened at 8,500, I think was a... Yeah, okay, that was a good example. I think much better, there was $11,000, was $10,000, these kinds of tops. And the deal is when we hit these tops, fuck it, even 20,000, when we hit 17,000, when we hit these tops, not 17 doesn't count, but 20, you know, 11, 10,000, these kind of tops that we hit, when these things happened, the sentiment was that we would continue higher. The sentiment was really, really obvious that we would be going much higher than we originally did. Whoa, we've got nearly 800 live viewers. That's an all-time high, guys. Thank you very much. Let's smash up those likes a little bit. Let's celebrate that. Yeah, you guys are really showing the love today. So yeah. We hit these levels, and we were expecting the prices to continue higher. I think it's most obvious for the $20,000 level, obviously. And at these times, especially for the retail, which we all are, you know, it looked really clear that we were going to be rising higher. And I think the most important thing was that $11,000, for example, was an area that we could be expecting a little bit of resistance because we traded there for so long. And so when it happened, I would say even at this particular point, the beginning of March, we had already traded, we had already found some troubles at $11,000 a few times in the past. One time here, the second time here, which was much bigger, and then a third time we got rejected here. So it would have made sense to think of this as an area to find resistance. I believe the likes of Crypto Kirby were even calling for it to be resistance there. I don't remember, but just, you know, from talking to him a lot, it wouldn't surprise me if he ended up calling that as an area of resistance. I believe even Crypto Crew, Steve Courtney, for all his flaws, was also calling for resistance around about here. So, you know, the better analysts were calling for resistance there, but even though it was resistance, it didn't look very strong. And that's exactly what we have at the $6,000 range, guys. That's exactly the setup we have right now. Now, why am I hitting this point so hard? Why is this the first big thing that I'm talking about in this video, guys? It is because this is the time where we forget important things like that. If we are feeling like $6,000, which we've traded at completely sideways for like, I don't know, 4 months straight, if we are feeling like that is not a big deal, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. That is exactly how it's supposed to feel. And if this is happening at a time where, guys, from a technical standpoint, this is gargantuan resistance. This is enormous resistance at a time where the RSI is overbought, at a time where we've just been rallying straight upwards on the weekly chart without any meaningful pullback. If this is all happening, and at the same time we're getting this crazy bullish sentiment that $6,000 somehow isn't strong resistance, and that somehow we're going to be rallying up to $10,000 or $7,000 or something, if we're getting these signs at a time like this, everything is playing out exactly as we would expect. If we're gonna find resistance here, all of the signs are saying that that is exactly the case. All of the signs are saying that, you know, it's all pointing towards the same direction, which, my friends, is to the downside. I am getting excited. I am getting absolutely pumped up. You know, this looks like a beautiful setup to me. Now, look, okay, in the short term, we're still bullish, but the deal is the short-term trend is going to have to give way to the long-term trend eventually. Oh, what have I done? Go back on the Bitcoin chart. Let's actually take this all off. You know, the short-term trend is going to have to give way to the long-term trend eventually, and yeah, we're starting to rise higher. So what I was saying actually before I got into this massive rant is, you know, the short term still looks bullish. We're still in short term continuation patterns. The main resistance is at 6,400, which we're about to hit. We're $50 away from there, so we're actually breaking new highs right now while we're live, which is pretty fun. I'm just seeing some of the comments being caught in our spam filter. Someone's trying to promote his channel. That's hilarious. I knew this stuff would happen. This is one of the reasons I didn't want to go live, actually, is there's a lot of spam in the comments. It's really annoying. But anyway, looking at the 1 hour chart, the short term is still bullish. But here's the thing, guys. It's that the short term timeframes will always continue to be bullish. Keep that energy. Hell yeah, you know I will. You know, the short term chart is always going to continue to tell us we're bullish if the short term trend has been bullish. And so it can be very unreliable. And so another very key aspect of technical analysis, and what really separates the winners from the losers, and what I've been trying to hit home really, really hard with you guys, is that one of the key things you need to be doing as a technical analyst is knowing when the long-term trend is going to step back in and tell the short-term trend to fuck off. And I think we're exactly at that time right now, because I've shown you guys that the $6,000 resistance is absolutely huge. I do think that this is when the long-term trend is going to have to start to take the front seat again. There are times where it's not going to happen. There are times where the long-term trend is actually not going to be the driving force in the market. For example, this pump that I called when we would rise above the $4,000 resistance. Guys, you remember what happened here was at the end of March, we had the weekly, monthly, quarterly close all on the same day, calling out for Hodor. He couldn't hold the resistance there. He ended up dropping, and you know, the whites ended up breaking through that wall, just like they broke through our dignity. And of course, we just absolutely rocketed through here. The setup in this case was, even from the long term, it was still a bear market. Okay, yes, we didn't break the low, and so again, technically it was still a bull market by then, but for all intents and purposes, especially just considering it's Bitcoin, and so we don't use the typical definitions in this case, you know, it was still a bearish trend in the long term, and I was telling you guys that. But the deal is, we had a beautiful setup to be sent lower at the end of a weekly, monthly, quarterly candle. We had a beautiful, and just trading at horizontal resistance, we had a beautiful setup to be sent lower, but all of those closes happened. Snap of the fingers, nothing happened. There was no dump, and that told me we might be bullish for the next, I told you 48 hours or something. So that's exactly when we started to pump higher. These are the times where the long-term trend doesn't mean as much as the short-term trend. Why? Simply because we're seeing short-term signs which are much stronger at a time where, sorry, my phone is, god damn, my phone's blowing up. Sorry. We at a time where you know, the long-term trend would have told us we're going to continue to go lower. We or at least I myself, no one else was really expecting that pump. Actually, I was pretty happy that I was like the only one. We were actually seeing that there could there could be some signs of a rise in the short term. This is where the short-term trend is actually overriding the long-term trend. Okay, so that's the short-term and long-term trend covered. What else have I got? So yeah, let's continue to break the move to the upside. We stopped at 5,100, guys. I mean, I was so clear about it that 5,100 wouldn't be the end of the trend. I don't know how people were calling for things like a moving average or a Fibonacci or something ridiculous that was going to stop us. Absolutely not the case. And so obviously we carried on rising higher. Then we found resistance at 5,300. I told you guys again that 5,300 wasn't even the main resistance. We only had one wick at 5,300, and it wasn't even at 5,300. We only had one wick there, which could have given us some problems. And so I told you guys the real resistance was at 5,500. So naturally, we started to find some resistance at 5,500. We found a little bit of resistance there. Like I said, I didn't expect we would be held down for so long. This was actually a sign of weakness, but Bitcoin's just shrugged it all off now, obviously. And again, this is where we're taking into account strength analysis. So I'm bringing together a lot of different theories with technical analysis today, guys. This is a really, really intense TA video. I'm going to try and liven up the mood a little bit, bring in some funny analogies and stuff like that. But this is super serious stuff. There is a lot of money being made behind the things I'm telling you guys right now. A lot of members, whether it's been in VIP or in gold, just the free members. Bitcoin is mooning. Yes, I see that comment. You know, whether it's been free members or members in gold, a lot of money have been made behind doing very sound analysis like this. And so this was a small area of resistance at a time where we had already broken a much larger area of resistance, this second lower area here. So that's why I told you guys I did expect we'd be rising to the upside. After that, considering we broke 5,800 and considering that, you know, it didn't look like the trend was over, we found some resistance exactly where we expected at $5,800. Why was that? Well, it's because we found some areas of support back in June, back in February. And so we found some resistance there. Exactly the same thing for 5,900. In both instances, I told you guys that I didn't think it would last very long and we'd end up breaking to the upside. And now that we're in the $6,000 range, guys, what we actually have is a parabola. We have a very, very clear parabola in this case. And this is just like an arc. It's where the chart is just completely rocketing higher, almost in a nonsensical way, something that doesn't make sense. And these things are not sustainable. This is actually why I posted the weekly chart in the gold and VIP channel today. It's simply to illustrate that this kind of move is not sustainable. It just doesn't make sense that we're going to continue to shoot higher like that. And if the sentiment from the majority of people right now is that we are going to continue to rocket higher at a time where we really are at such a strong area of resistance, then yeah, it's just all the more it's proving my point better than I could have said. So that's looking really, really good there. And I mean, a lot of profits have already been made in this range. A lot of people, you know, through what I've been saying, like we'd be finding support over here or carrying on higher from the 59.50 level have already been made. This is, hang on, let's just remove these. Where is it? This is actually one of the messages I got from some, I can't remember when this was. It was a little bit back. One of our members here who made a 36% profit on a quick flip that we posted in VIP, making back the fee. This person made back the fee within 24 hours of joining. So he joined the Hall of Fame for VIP. Absolutely amazing. Glad I came across your channel. It's just great. Keep up the great work. Absolutely amazing. So I do love getting messages like this. It is absolutely amazing. This was from a trade that I shared in VIP. The deal with VIP is you are getting access to all of the trades that I'm entering, exiting, all the position updates and various different things like that. So the way to join is by hitting up the first link in the description down below. Is that link in this? Yeah, it is. The first link in the description down below. And from there, clicking on the @4flies. Shout out, by the way, to the new 400 members who joined after the screenshot was taken. That's pretty cool. A lot of you guys in the in the channel there. So @4flies, click on that and then click on send message. And of course, that's where if you just ask me how to join VIP, I'll be giving you all of the information that you need on the VIP group. I think my assistant is there right now. So if you message right now, you might get a reply. So there we go. What else did I have to go through? The $3,000 bottom. Okay, so this part is exciting for me. Now, I haven't talked about this for a long time, but what I was saying, guys, is that even when we were back down here, what I was saying is that if we ended up breaking to the $4,000 or the $5,000 range, and this is actually one of the biggest reasons that I thought we would end up rallying this high. One of the biggest reasons I thought we would be going this high is because I thought the bottom was already in at 3,100. Now, this has been all but completely confirmed. Yes, Adrian, let's hit up those likes. Absolutely smash them. What happened was, you know, I was telling you guys that if we are in the last phases of a bear market, or rather if the bottom is in, what I was telling you guys back here, or sorry, back in this $3,300 range, is that I thought that the price correction was over. You get price corrections and you get time corrections. Both of them are painful. The pain in price is you know, dropping from $20,000 down to $3,000. That's an 85% loss. It's absolutely disgusting. If you put in $100,000, you would be down to $35,000. So like that's a crazy loss. I don't even need to tell you why. The other painful thing is the time, and it's where, you know, the market has gone on for so long, and it's just not giving you any relief for so long, to the point where, you know, it's just exhausting. It's like, you know, you keep on having that poster of a Lambo up on your wall, or you've got this poster of whatever, like, I don't know, a Bitcoin hat that you can't afford, even though it's like €3. You just can't afford it because you lost so much on trading a shit coin or getting in all the ICOs and stuff like that. You got various different things like that going on, but with time, you're realizing that you're just not making the money you thought you would. Those are the two forms of really intense pain in the markets. Time and price drops. And so for that reason, holy shit, 1,100 people watching now. Thank you very much for dropping by, guys. That is really, really cool. For those two reasons, I did expect that because the bottom was already in, we would have to establish a much larger trading range. Now, why did I think that? Let's go back to what happened in 2015. Let's refresh you guys on what I was saying back there. I don't know if I should be repeating this. I've said these things already a lot of times, but it's clear there are a lot of new viewers. And anyway, it's good to recap these things. So let's go back to 2015. And guys, what happened over here was from the low all the way up to the high that we established, we went up by 100%. Guys, If you've been around since the start of this live stream, what was I telling you? From 3,100 up to the current price at 6,350, it's been a 99% gain. This was a 93% gain from the low of the bear market to the high of the consolidation range. You guys remember what I've been saying about this? That we were trading within a little bit of a box like this. I was telling you guys the majority of the accumulation was happening within this area. We would occasionally rise beyond it. We'd fall back in. We'd trade sideways again, accumulate, we'd rise beyond, we'd fall back in. Accumulate a little bit more, and on the third test, we ended up breaking higher, guys. So what I think we're in right now, just to quickly recap, is I do think that this circle over here, this lower range, where the majority of the trading is happening, you're seeing a lot of action like this, a lot of sideways trading. Guys, can we very consciously bear in mind that, okay, this was from the 12th of April all the way to the 12th of June, okay? So that's 2 months straight of trading within a very tight, within a very tight 12% range. For 2 months straight, we were trading within 12% of Bitcoin's price, okay? It was a very, very small price range. That is absolutely bloody exhausting. The second thing to bear in mind is these market cycles are getting longer. And so I don't know, it took like, 3 months in this case for the first accumulation range from, 3,000 to 4,000, trading within roughly 30 to 40%. It took something like 3 months to break higher. So we're already seeing that. I was telling you guys about this way before, that these market cycles are getting longer. So I think that this level for us is the $3,000 to $4,000 range. This level for us is the $6,000 range, and that's why I think we're going to get rejected. Perhaps we'll test it again and get rejected, and maybe on the third try we will break it. It could be that we break it on the first try or the second, or that we don't break it on the third time and actually break it on the fourth or the fifth, or maybe we never break it. I don't know. My analysis is not to the long term like that. I mean, I do it occasionally because you can only really do long term analysis once every couple of weeks or months. The majority of my trading is happening on the short term, and that is how this member here was able to pay back the fee within 24 hours. So it's all what I'm sharing with you are my more short-term oriented trades, because those are the only trades I'm really entering. I'm after the fast money. I want to make money quickly. I want to bank that money. I want to treat it well with proper risk management and then get on to the next trade. So that's kind of my play style there. And so what happened here was we ended up trading within a 2x range. And guys, the deal is we already had our capitulation from $20,000 down to $6,000. Okay, so this loss was absolutely huge. It was a 70% loss, and from $6,000 after our capitulation, we rallied 2x to 94%. It is highly unlikely that after another event of capitulation, a 50% drop, it is highly unlikely that after another event of capitulation and rallying by 100%, it is highly unlikely, just like what happened at 6K, that we are going to end up continuing lower. That is to say, it is highly unlikely to me that after rallying by 100% again, that this floor is going to break. The fact that we rallied so strong from this point, guys, what does this mean? Let's break it down for the average trader, the average analyst. What does it mean that we went from $3,000 to $6,000? Now, the first thing, you've got a bunch of very unlucky people who ended up buying and accumulating Bitcoin at the $6,000 range, at the low 6,000. So basically right where we are right now, kind of like 6,300 and various different things like that. We had a lot of people buying in these ranges, and what's going to happen right now? Okay, aside from the excitement, you're going to have people that are ready to exit at break even, guys. It was November where this accumulation range would have ended. Obviously, it was distribution. We know in hindsight now. It was November back here. We're now in May. November is the 11th month of 2018. May is the 5th month of 2018, all right? So it's been well over half a year, and since it's about half a year, actually, I don't even know, since that happened, and these people are ready to exit at break even. But what does it mean for the people who failed to get in at the lows, where I was telling you guys that I expected a rise from way back at the bottom? What does it mean for them? Well, we've now rallied up to $6,000. We've shown considerable strength, and so even if what I'm saying ends up happening and we end up dropping lower and just absolutely dropping like a stone, even if all of that happens, what's going to happen now is people are going to remember with pride, with joy, what happened during this absolutely euphoric stage. And do you think they're going to be more or less inclined to be buying the dips over here? My answer is I absolutely think that they're going to be more inclined to buy the dips over here, and that is why I think this floor will hold if it ever gets tested again. That is why I think the bottom is in. We had a 100% trading range from the capitulation back in 2015. We've had a 100% trading range in 2019. This is moving exactly as we anticipated. It just couldn't be better than this. We break it down onto the shorter time frame, guys. Shorter time frames rather. Break it down a little bit more. What have we got? We get a massive bull flag. We get a smaller bull flag. We get a smaller bull flag than that. Even smaller, and right now we may even be ready to break from the most recent bull flag as well. So yet again, we're getting textbook patterns that are repeating themselves over and over, guys. Bitcoin loves to... Yeah, I'm on fire, Darksiders. It's great to see you in the chat, bringing a little bit of Crypto Kirby's vibe into the video today. Shout out to Crypto Kirby. You know, we have had the same characteristics of the market where we're getting bull flags that are playing out over and over and over, and it's just giving us more time to rise higher. And obviously with certain characteristics like bull flags, Bitcoin loves to repeat bull flags over and over and over. It just happens constant. I'm seeing all the VIP messages, by the way, guys. I don't know if my assistant is there right now. Hang on, let me check. No, he's not there right now. Okay, you'll get a reply within the next few minutes or hour or something. But so yeah, good to be you know, just ask, you know, just ask if you want to see what's in VIP. This is the way to get in. You know, Bitcoin loves the bull flags. It keeps on repeating these characteristics, and so for these reasons, I do think that it looks quite likely that any bull flag we see now in the short term could be ready to give us a rise higher, especially until at least kind of 6,400. I did have a coffee, Ed. Yeah. Actually, a double shot. So that's partly why I'm a little bit hyper today. Good on you for realizing. Bitcoin loves the bull flags, and so, you know, especially until kind of like 6,400 or maybe even a little bit higher, like 6,800, guys. The range I defined for you way back, even since 2018, the range I've defined for you for the $6,000 level is 5,950 up to 6,800, all right? So it's nearly the entire $6,000 range. Above 6,800, TBR, I'm hyper because I love getting behind the microphone usually, most of the time, yeah. This crypto, we all drink coffee, yeah, that is absolutely true, Tronic. No, Kryptonia, I don't know why I said Tronic. But yeah, 6,400. The range is 5,950 up to 60. 5,950 up to 6,800. Is there anything else I need to go? Yes, okay, 5,500. So guys, let's talk about the downside now. Now, I don't know if we're going to end up breaking down from here or if we're going to go a little bit higher, but the deal is, if we do end up dropping lower, I think the $5,500 level is going to be a very, very important level. It could be that we take a plunge, but because we have traded sideways here for so long, it could be that we take a plunge and we end up bouncing higher. Now, this is the first macro test of $6,000 since 2018. If we end up dropping to 5,500 and we start to test $6,000 again, the chances that we're going to rise beyond 6,000 into the 7,000s, into the 8,000s, depending on where we get rejected over here, whether it's 64, 65, or whatever, the chances that we break higher will get higher every single time. And so this would be a really, really bullish situation for me. If for whatever reason I'm not in a short position at the $5,500 level, I will not be opening unless we get a drop kind of to 5,400 or 5,300. If $5,500 holds, if it holds as support, I will most likely close perhaps half or most of my short position in what would be a decent profit. Let's check it out. So that would be about a 50% profit. I think that's good enough. I'm trading this on 5 times leverage. Guys, VIPs know exactly how I'm going to be trading this short. I was already in a short, but I decided I'm going to be entering a little bit higher. And if you know, if we do get a bounce off this level, probably if we rise up to 5,800, I'll probably close half or the entirety of the position, because this would be really, really dangerous for the bears. But to be honest, I don't think that's really going to happen. I think that we are going to end up following what happened way back in 2015. Where is 2015? Let's pull that up. I don't even think this goes back that far, does it? Nah, it doesn't go back. Wow, that's inconvenient. But yeah, I do think that we are in a similar instance to 2015, where it's just going to be a failed rally and we're going to end up testing it again a few times before we can rise higher. That's the $5,500 thing done. And then, of course, you know, I mentioned we could end up trading within the $3,000 range. Now, this is really far away, so it's not worth talking about yet. But it's also quite likely that what was previously a massive area of resistance, the low $4,000 range, the kind of 3,900 up to 4,200, 43, it's very possible that this is going to end up being our support area. And so we won't drop down here. We'll just end up kind of trading within this sideways range, and perhaps we can break up a little bit higher. You know, what we are talking about are vague characteristics and patterns repeating, not exact mirror images of what happened in the past. And so for that reason, we can also expect the low 4,000s to give a little bit of support. So that's a lot of macro analysis, a lot of short-term analysis. I am ready to go through your questions. I have a feeling there is just an absolute overload of questions. Okay, not that many. So let's go through this. I'm going to try and go through these a little bit. Oh no, I lost some of these. Oh no, that's annoying. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry for that. By the way, is the video quality and all that okay? Are you getting any buffering? Is the quality good? Is it like HD and stuff like that? Can you let me know? I'm going to try and go through these from the top. Oh, I'm not even... Yeah, my chat isn't loading up. Okay, that's annoying. The most recent message I can read... I don't even have a timestamp. Are you fucking serious? I don't even have a timestamp. Anyway, I'm just going to go through the questions. Question, new bottom or just a retest? Alright, so I answered that. I think that we've already hit the bottom. How do you figure out which support and resistance will hold or break? Very good question. So in terms of figuring out the strength of support and resistance levels, it's really down to how long we're trading at these levels. So for example, at the $5,500 level, 5,000 up to $5,500 level, we were trading here for 30 days, an entire month of trading sideways at this level. And so that's a long time. And the second thing is this area of support goes over 10%. And so the larger it is, the more likely, obviously, just because you're catching more areas, the more likely it is to be really, really good support. And so for that reason, I expect this to be a decent area of support. That's why I mentioned the $5,500 level. In terms of weak support, this was traded here for a very short amount of time. We were only here for 4 days or something, and that's why on the upside, the only thing I was wrong about throughout this entire trend is that I thought we would break this quickly, and we absolutely didn't break it quickly. So that's how I determine strong and weak resistance areas and support, and that's why I think the $6,000 level would be absolutely gargantuan resistance for Bitcoin, simply because we traded here for so long and over quite a significant range, to the point where, yeah, it just doesn't look like, you know, because we traded here for so long, there's so much interest. You know, this is why I like to use the VPVR indicator, because it visualizes what I'm saying with absolutely no room for interpretation, really. I mean, you get a spike on the VPVR and that's the end of the conversation. So that's how I determine that. Four flies $100,000 to $400,000 by 2021 end of year, 2-year bull market started this year. Julio, I have no bloody idea. I'm not an investor. To be honest with you, a price like $100,000 sounds absolutely crazy to me, but $20,000 also sounded crazy to me when we were at like 2,000. So, yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that. I'm not even trading that kind of time frame. So there you go. Jeremy Buy, my first short-term target is $6,400. I hope we can hit that during this live stream, because that would mean... actually, I don't like significant price action during a live stream because it makes me nervous, but if we can hit it, that would lead to some interesting analysis. So yeah, 6,400. After that, kind of 66 is significant, and then 6,800. If 6,800 breaks, then we're looking at potentially the end of the bear market, unless it's just a very quick short squeeze. That's how I feel about it anyway. Cheers for the live stream. Ariel, thank you very much for dropping by. Why are the alts slow? I'm going to cover the alts in a bit. Positive feedback loop in actions, shorts getting wrecked and people dumping alts for Bitcoin. Okay, that's a possible explanation for why alts are dropping. Yes, absolutely. Another big reason is that alts are typically just shitcoins and Bitcoin isn't a shitcoin. And that's why, you know, actually what I was going to say about the alts, guys, is you'll remember way back at the start of the bear market in 2018, what I was telling you guys is I expected a Bitcoin dominance of 60%. I actually thought we would hit 60% within 2018 and we didn't. So I was a little bit sour about that. But Bitcoin dominance is now at its highest point for, I think, well over a year. Let's actually, yeah, so it hasn't been up at 58%. Did it hit 58 here? No, it hit 56. And so the last time Bitcoin dominance was at this level was December, the beginning of December 2017. And yeah, it just absolutely dropped with the flippening and stuff like that happening in early 2017. I joined around this time. And so for that reason, I am really happy that Bitcoin dominance is starting to rise. Obviously, you guys know that I have a very unfavorable opinion towards altcoins. They're mostly just complete shit. And as a cryptocurrency to transact and hold and transfer value and various different things like that, obviously Bitcoin is the absolute best for that in terms of reliability and what's respected the most and various different things like that. And so, yeah, there is no need for iExec RLC, whatever the fuck that is, with a $51 million market cap. No one cares. Like, literally nobody cares, apart from a few bag holders that are sour. So that's the deal there. What's the future possible deepest low? I think it's 3,100. Unless 3,100 breaks, I think that's the bottom. Can I make more VIP videos? I've literally just recorded a VIP video like 2 minutes before I went live, and it's a really good one. I'm breaking down a previous trade, and what I'm going to do is make either 4 or 9 more of those VIP videos where I'm breaking down previous trades. I'm going to be breaking down wins and losses to tell you guys why I entered a position and various different things like that. It's going to be all hindsight analysis, but using the same analysis I made in the moment, obviously without having the benefit of hindsight. And so those are exclusive VIP videos. You're going to see that hit the VIP library in basically whenever I'm done with this live stream. I'll just start uploading that. Do the final checks, obviously I have to proof watch the video and stuff like that, but that's going to be there as well. So obviously VIPs do get access to the entire VIP library of very in-depth analysis, like what I'm doing right now in this live stream. So that was that. Let's see what else we got. 12k soon. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Chart is fun to watch right now. Is it really? I don't think it's that interesting, is it? I mean, yeah, we broke the previous high, but I think people are getting a little bit too excited over this. Okay, this is a beautiful bull flag on the 1 minute, though. So this is quite fun to watch. But yeah, it is. But at the same time, I think it's kind of being blown out of proportion. It's not like we didn't expect this to happen, put it that way. Real FOMO about to hit. Best time to get in Bitcoin? I have no idea. When should I start to invest? I'm not your financial advisor. I can't answer that. To 6.8k, then a correction back to 6,000. That's quite likely, I think. If we rise up to $6,800, which was the top of the resistance band in 2018, and then we drop back to back to about this level, we have a support resistance flip in this case. It's actually already flipped to support, but I think that would that would be quite possible. Yeah, but it's hard to say, right? I think bottom line, it doesn't really affect my macro analysis that we'd end up tumbling lower eventually. But yeah, you like turtles? I like turtles too. They're pretty fucking cool. Real FOMO recharges with Fidelity and ETF approval. Yeah, if we start to get some really bullish headlines right now, I think that's really going to say a lot about the potential direction of this market. And so if that does happen, you know, we are looking at some more pushes to the upside. Okay, we're about to hit 6,400 now, so that should be interesting. What else have we got in the questions? Current setups looks a lot like the 2017 bubble. Francis, I've seen a lot of people drawing connections between the 2017 bubble pop and right now. In terms of psychological aspects, I think that's a valid comparison to make, but on the whole, I don't think they're actually very comparable. Obviously, I do think it's going to drop just like it did in 2017, or I think it's going to drop a little bit harder than that. But in terms of similarities, other than the psychological similarities, I don't really think there's much similar to 2017. It was a very, very different market situation. Let me remove these two lines because this is getting a bit annoying. I'm just on this chart now because it's a bit cleaner. We've got comments of buy. This is exactly what I want to see when I'm entering short positions. Thank you very much. Aiming for 6,800. Best time to jump on the Bitcoin train. Okay, I think you already asked something like that, Dave. Prime XBT down for maintenance. There are a lot of exchanges cropping up now that are trying to take Bitcoin's place, and it is very funny to see. I'm getting like an email every day about it. It's yeah, that's funny. What else have we got? How do I handle my losses? Good question. So we have a system in VIP where if there is a loss hit, it's like you know, you're driving and you know, there's like a little bit of rain that hits your windscreen or something, right? So you're driving with clear skies above, but then there's a bunch of clouds just up ahead, like a mile out. I mean, you can't tell if it's a mile out because you're bloody driving, but you know, there's clouds about a mile out, and you start to see those clouds, and so you know the national speed limit's 70, but you're doing 120 because you're driving down the M40 back to London, and there's no average speed cameras and no police there either, so it's pretty cool. Of course, I never speed though; that would be illegal. But anyway, yeah, you're kind of doing like 120, but you see these clouds up ahead, so you're starting to slow down. That's what I'm doing in VIP if I ever hit a loss. It is that I'm just starting to apply the brakes. If there's 2 losses in a row, the brakes become really intense. Originally, if the clouds are there, if it looks like a loss might happen, I'm going from 120 down to 100. You know, and if a loss actually happens, I'm down from 100 down to 70, which is the actual speed limit. And if a second loss is hit, really harsh braking begins. From 70, I might go down to 50 or 40 or something like that to really make sure risk management is kept extremely tight. And this is actually the best way I think of trading, where especially in crypto, when you win, if you win well, you're typically going to hit a winning streak, and so but the same thing applies to a loss. And so when a winning streak is happening, I'm starting to expand my horizons a little bit. But when a loss happens with the threat of a loss streak, I am absolutely ready to slam the brakes on absolutely everything to make sure that cannot manifest into a loss streak, and that basically limits the losses. You know, the biggest mistake in trading is losing money, because if you lose 50% of your capital, you need a 2 times gain to get back. You know, let's look at what happened with Bitcoin. Guys, this was a 50% loss from 6,000 down to 3,100, and to make a recovery from that very level up to 6,000 again, it's been a 100% pump. So it's a 50% loss, but a 100% pump to recover, and so it is really hard to recover from losses, and that is why I get very, very, very careful if a loss is ever hit, just to make sure. I mean, obviously losses are hit, to make sure that it cannot continue. What else have we got? I'm really delayed on these comments, by the way. I'm just reading them from the absolute top. I'm not seeing that many questions, actually. Have we hit bottom? Should I go short? You guys are asking me financial advice like I'm going to give it to you. I don't get it. Typical FOMO, I agree. How much of your... I'm not going to answer that. What else have we got? Are we going to see 3,100 again? Darren, good question. Do you know, I think it's possible that we don't see 3,100 again. A lot like 2015. Go back to 2015, where we hit a low of 150, but we didn't return to that low. We actually returned to the low that was set afterwards, which was higher at 210. Now, this 210 low, I think, is like the $3,300 low. And so we bring this back to 2019, and I think that we did hit the 3,100 low, but we may not return to that. We may only return to 3,300 in a worst-case scenario. And another reason for that, bringing it in with another question I had a little bit earlier, is that this is an area where we had a little bit more trade than we had at 3,100, and so this looks like a stronger area of support than this did, purely in terms of time that we traded there. 3,100 is going to be stronger support than 33, but I don't think 3,300 will break, and the reason 3,100 will be stronger is because it's the absolute low, and so you've now got the psychological aspect to that support as well. You don't have the same psychological aspect to 3,300, but that's actually why it may stop there, simply with this idea that the market will never allow you to buy the bottom twice. Is the bump and run confirmed yet? I think it was already confirmed if it actually happened. Yeah, so I think that's already confirmed. What else have we got? Where altcoins will go in the near future, I don't know. Guys, we will not skyrocketing. We will teleport in another dimension. Oh, God, this Moonboy sentiment will never get old. Best broker, I don't know. When Hodor gets knocked down 4K. What else? A few comments getting stopped with the spam filter, so don't comment like a twat and you won't get stopped. Possible correction at 68. Yeah, I do think so. What if CZ closed deposits and withdrawal on Binance to prevent the dump from those who bought at 6K? Eric, that's definitely going into conspiracy theory territory, but now that you say it, I think there's a decent chance. Maybe that was the case, or not a decent chance. I think there was a chance that that's the case, but in all honesty, I'm not... I'm getting messages from brokers and stuff that we're breaking higher. Okay, what up, Mark? Great to see you in the chat. In the live stream. Yeah, if CZ did that, it's quite possible that that it's going to help us stay high. Of course, we also have the situation with Bitfinex and the like, where it's a little bit hard to exit the markets. We're so close to 6,400. This is so exciting. $8 away. When will Binance resume again? No idea. I didn't think it would take this long. I don't think it does take this long usually. So a little bit weird there, but I don't trade on Binance. I'm just a leverage trader. It's an advantage parabolic of 2011. I have no idea what that means. This is a bull trend, not a bull market. Joran, wow, I think you just hit it on the nail there. I may as well just stop going live right now. This is a bull trend, not a bull market. There you go. That is absolutely the case. What else have we got? When do you think alts will get back up to where they were a few weeks ago? Okay, Ikben, let's cover the alt situation a little bit more. So if Bitcoin goes sideways from here and it just kind of paints a bull flag, which by the way, I think is a worst case scenario for me, this would mean that we are ready to break higher, I think. We'll just see what happens. But if this does happen and we end up trading sideways a little bit, that's going to give the altcoins a chance to start to rise. Now, why is that? It's because we get alt seasons in seasons. And so with the altcoins, what actually happens is because we've had seasons of pumps where alts will just absolutely skyrocket when Bitcoin is being pacified, this has become an expectation in the market. And you have to remember that we've got mostly the same people in the market now as we had during the previous few alt seasons. So 2017, 2018 alt seasons, we had a few. We even had one just a few weeks ago. And so the expectation is when Bitcoin goes sideways, people are going to start to get a little bit frustrated. You know, we have to bear in mind this is a space of degenerates, and so we need these constant highs. We need these highs to be reinstated quickly, whether that means drugs or various different things like that. In crypto, it just means buying a shit coin because there's nothing better to do. That money is going to start to flow into altcoins, and so this dominance I think will start to drop, and I do think we're going to start to see all of this money flowing into shit coins, into micro caps and stuff like that, depending on how good the sentiment is. That's the next thing. If the sentiment stays strong, we're going to start to see more risk, more traders that are open to more risk. This is the same thing I was telling you guys with regards to the S&P 500. Let's go into the S&P 500 real quick. Remove these two lines, SPX, and I was telling you guys we broke the all-time high, completely expected that. We are starting to drop a little bit. I'm going to do some more analysis on this in a different video, but what I was saying about the SPX, the S&P 500, is that if we start to get conventional markets, which the S&P 500 represents, or NASDAQ, Dow Jones, they're all basically doing the same thing. If we start to get these conventional markets where you've got the traders with bigger pockets starting to get some profit, they're going to be willing to take on more risk because they've already gone, you know, let's say you've put it this way. Let's give you the example of Timmy No Thumbs. He likes to buy XVG at 5 Satoshis and he likes to sell at 2,000 because he listened to a random crypto influencer or something. You know, you've got Timmy over there, and he is really happy with his XVG his XVG trade. And he's gone from a total net worth of $300 when he entered crypto to $100,000. Timmy has just come into a lot of bloody wealth, and he feels. I do love my microphone, Daniel. Thank you. I sound like Silicone. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm a little bit offended, but well, that's my comment. Silicone's great, don't get me wrong, but I would like to be compared to Morgan Freeman. Thank you very much. Yeah, so you've got Timmy who's gone from $300 up to $100,000 net worth in the space of a year or something. He is absolutely balling. He's just booking yachts on vacations and stuff like that, blazing through his money. What is he inclined to do? Is he inclined to play it safe, or is he inclined to take more risk? Typically, when you're coming into money quickly, you're willing to take more risk. So I was talking to somebody who I met yesterday, a really, really good friend of mine out here in London, who mentioned that, you know, he was into poker. He was in the Swedish poker scene way back when the online poker scene was blowing up like 10 years ago. And what he was saying is a lot of young people became very rich around him, and because this money was easy come, it was also easy go. And so these people were willing to diversify and invest in random startups really, really quickly because they see the passion and they don't have experience, and so they're just ready to throw their money out. And it's the same thing with risk exposure, where your risk profile becomes a lot more open and a lot more friendly to taking on more risk. And for that reason, if the conventional markets continue to rise, we're going to start to get the bigger traders willing to take on more risk, and that means they're willing to explore risk on assets with euphoric sentiment, and so that means people will be ready to dabble into Bitcoin. Now, bringing that back to the cryptocurrency market cap page, we have a Bitcoin dominance of 58%, and if Bitcoin continues to give us that same euphoria, that excitement is going to flow into the altcoins, because Bitcoin to us is not a high risk asset. It's actually the altcoins, especially to people like you and I who are live in this video today. 1,300 viewers. Shout out to every single one of you. Let's smash up those likes again. If you are, starting to get a lot of money in this kind of space, and that euphoria is staying, you're going to be willing to take on more risk because you're ready to take on, you're ready to make some more money. I think another really good example is if we compare the market capitalization from November to, let's say, March, and you can compare that to, again, November to March, and we look at when the bubbles popped. So this market cap graph takes into account Bitcoin, but this one doesn't take into account Bitcoin. So we can see the all-time high for the rest of the market, not including Bitcoin, excluding Bitcoin here. I can't even highlight, that's annoying. But the all-time high here was on the 8th of January, whereas the all-time high with Bitcoin was on the 7th. Okay, that's not really illustrating my point. The point was that, I'm so sorry, I think it's because Bitcoin had a very small market cap at that time. The point is, Bitcoin being the big daddy, the king of the space, ended up reaching an all-time high much earlier, back in December 2017. It was the 17th of December 2017, something like that. How poetic that we reach a bottom exactly a year later, by the way. That's pretty cool. But then after Bitcoin starts to absolutely just explode and Bitcoin is done, we are looking for the next cocaine high. And it's like, you've got a bunch of dogs or something that are rushing around the scraps of Ramsay Bolton's body, but there aren't enough scraps left of him because he's a bloody idiot and he had a lot of dogs that he kept a little bit too hungry. Bitcoin at 6,420, shout out. Let's see where that's going right now. Okay, so yeah, we've broken that resistance. Nice one. I bet the comments are going haywire right now. But it's at a time like that where I completely forgot my point. Hang on. Ramsey, the dog scrapping. Oh, right. So you're looking for the next high, and that next high will be in the altcoin market. So there you go. That's a very, very in-depth explanation to a very short question. Oh my God. And we're 50 minutes live. That hasn't happened for a very long time. I need to chill with your voice age is not yours yet. Too fast. Mature first. Yeah, maybe, but I quite like it. I sound like I had a couple pints. Now, mate, I don't drink before videos. That would be disrespectful. Completely sober. The only high that I have is the high from love from you guys. What have we got? Is this bearish divergence also an important signal to me? Manual, it is a first warning sign, and this is a disgusting divergence, by the way. This is absolutely enormous. Look at this. You get let's extend this a little bit. We've got the RSI just setting lower lows and lower highs, whereas we've got the price setting higher lows and higher highs. It's the first warning sign, but the deal is it's so hard to use. I think I covered this either in a VIP video or in a public video recently. Or maybe I said this to that Swedish friend I told you about, who I met yesterday. But either way, when we've got the divergence like this, it's only the first warning sign. And so this warning sign was actually showing way back, like over here at the end of April, which was only like 10 days ago. But the bearish divergence was already showing back then. And so if you followed it over here, you would be in a really, really bad position in the market. And so for that reason, it's significant, but only as a first sign. And I already know we're macro bearish at this point anyway, so that's the deal there. Question, can you take oh, I just missed that comment, I'm sorry. There's a lot of comments right now, I think. What's the next resistance we think? So yeah, 6,800 Abbas. What have we got? So sorry, 6,600 is the next level I'm looking at. Will I, okay, 150k. I don't know why we're getting calls for 6-figure Bitcoins yet. I mean, we're not even past the all-time high. Yeah, 6,500 is an area of resistance, but I think 66 is a little bit bigger. So if we pass 64, then it should be a fairly easy ride up to 66. What else have we got? I think that's where the questions have been expanded. There's one question which I do remember, which was really good, and it's somebody asking, you got the crypto influencers space. God, I hate the word influencers, but you've got the crypto influencers space of crypto YouTubers and crypto Twitter profiles and personalities, where one person was asking if people on crypto YouTube and Twitter are saying generally the same things, would it be a case of self-fulfilling prophecies where they can say that the market will go down, and then the sheepish people who can't decide for themselves will decide to just do whatever the other person said. And I think there is an element of that, but on the whole, it's actually not going to drive the market very much. There are a few things to consider which are a little bit offensive, so please bear with me, but we're all about the brutal truth, and really whether you take offense to it or not, it doesn't change what the truth is. And the first truth here is that the people watching YouTube videos are typically not going to have bankrolls that are going to move the market. And so it could mean we go from 6,400 down to 6,350, which is a $50 move, and on something like 100 times leverage, that's a pretty decent gain, but on the whole, and there's no reason to be trading on 100x anyway, but and so it can lead to a move like that. But on the whole, the real money, which is actually going to be moving the market, isn't going to be watching YouTube videos, and that's just because they already have their analysis, they already have XYZ. There is no need. They have the inside news, for example. There is no need to Ed Van Dyke putting a 420 short there. There is no need to do that. And then the second thing is it would be very short-lived, simply because manipulation like that, I don't think that's called manipulation, but price speculation like that really doesn't last very long, especially in market situations like this. If it was in 2017, in that case, I think it is quite likely that it would result in some more prolonged euphoria. For example, XVG, every coin is just absolutely rocketing, and so we've got a really, really positive sentiment. This sentiment right now is kind of like, oh my god, this is cool, but is it actually safe, right? There's still that kind of doubt, that hesitation. And so that's hopefully that answers your question. Question, do you expect altcoins to rise while Bitcoin falls? I don't know the answer to that. That's really like a 50-50. Full Flies, do you think the rally started by USDT, people buying into Bitcoin at premium? If so, won't a major correction happen? Andrea, I don't know enough about USDT to comment on that. I'm mainly focusing on the technicals. I think Kirby was talking about that, so watch one of his recent videos and he'd probably answer your question there. I think a major correction is happening anyway, whether it's because of USDT or because the Binance thing got hacked or because something crazy happens in the space. I don't know. From a technical standpoint, it looks a little bit bearish. Guys, I'm getting hungry. These videos are very draining. We're at 55 minutes. I absolutely loved this. I was unsure if I was going to enjoy this because, like I said at the beginning of this stream, the crypto community really pisses me off just because this, I don't even need to really go into it. But I've really enjoyed this, so thank you for joining me today, guys. I'm going to take a few more questions. I'm going to take a few chart suggestions, but I will be heading off, I think, relatively soon. Don't want to be going too crazy with the timings on this. Do I expect a $5,800 correction? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, if we're going to go to 55, then we probably go to 58 first. Can I smell the wave? What wave? Raphael, Fourfly smashing it again. Thank you very much for the little love heart there. All about sharing the love. Question, will a Bitcoin correction cause... Okay, I already answered that. Oh, no. Will a Bitcoin correction cause alts bleed, or will alts recover this way? Yeah, it's the same as the other person's question about will alts rise if Bitcoin drops. I really don't know. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Bottom line, if Bitcoin is sideways, that's where, especially if the sentiment is already bullish, that's where we'll almost definitely, I think, see money moving into the altcoin market. Litecoin chart. Let's take a look at the Litecoin chart. Daniel, I don't even know my star sign. I think it's Leo, but I'm not into that stuff. Crypto Kirby and Four Flies are the two best TAs on YouTube. Hey, I like that. Also, Big Ben Millionaire gives some great TA and stock analysis. There you go, guys. Hit up Kirby and Big Ben Millionaire if you think that you need some more analysis in your life. Litecoin USD. Actually, I'm not going to do Litecoin USD. I'm going to do Litecoin to Bitcoin because that's the leverage pair, and so that's the only thing I'd be trading. Let's take a look at Litecoin there. Let's extend this Fibonacci first of all. Zoom in a little bit, take this RSI off, and let's extend this down to the bottom. Let's see where Litecoin is falling on the Fibonacci. I haven't looked at this chart for a long time. My analyst has in VIP, but I personally haven't. Okay, so that looks really good to me. First of all, from the low all the way to the high, let's see where this high was first of all. Okay, so this high was actually, I was telling you guys, if we broke 186, then I thought we would be rising much higher, and we broke 186 and we got rejected at 188, and so I actually turned out to be wrong there by a factor of 0.002, which is a bit funny, but obviously I wasn't trading that. This was a massive area of resistance. So first of all, I guess aside from what I said, this shouldn't come as a surprise to you that we ended up getting topped out over there, especially on such a massive rally. Bitcoin looks like it's doing something exactly like this, by the way, guys. The deal is Litecoin led the market way before the rest of the market. Litecoin, before Bitcoin broke out, before any of the other coins broke out, Litecoin was the one to break out. And so what I was saying for you guys back when Litecoin was going haywire, I think around this point, is that I did expect Litecoin to foreshadow what the rest of the market would do. This is why I was telling you guys I did expect to break into the $4,000 or $5,000 range. And seeing as it topped out and seeing this tumble, again, if Litecoin is going to continue to lead the market, and that's exactly what it did literally by more than a month in advance, if it is going to continue to lead the market, then it would make sense that Bitcoin is going to follow a similar pattern to that. So that's the first thing. The second thing, looking at the Fibonacci retracement, this was a very significant bull flag. This is like $5,500, right? We had the $51,000 to $5,500 range for Bitcoin. This is kind of the same thing I'm seeing for Litecoin, and we're about to hit this area. We already found a support with a wick, which I suppose would have been good if you had longs laddered at this range, but the 618 level at 0.0115 was also exactly the bottom of this bull flag, and so this looks like a good level to be longing. I think I'm going to text my analyst, and he's probably already outlined this level actually, but if he hasn't already, I'm going to tell him about this, and might consider feeling out the range for some longs. 382 has now become resistance, and so that's a problem. 0.5 is also resistance now, because it was really good resistance in the past and really good support in the past few days, past few weeks even, and so because of that, I think that if we do end up rising higher to the 128 level, we can expect a little bit of resistance there. It looks like a straight sell-off. It reminds me of XRP actually. If we take a look at Ripple, it's just absolutely been destroyed. I mean, this is... yeah, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, look at that. That is, it looks, yeah. I don't even know what to say. It's just carnage. On the bright side, it may be falling down to a level of previous interest, and so this can mean that if it falls down to kind of like 4,200 satoshis, then it's ready to rise higher. Would I bank on that? No. XRP had a lot of bullish news before, kind of right when this sell-off began. Had a lot of bullish news and various different things like that, but it just got sold off. So for that reason, I really don't know what's going on with Ripple. Another thing though is if I wasn't a leverage trader, I would probably be buying Ripple just as a buy and hold, simply because Ripple has to eventually rise. And after such a sell-off like this, it's like, come on, when is it going to end? And we're getting a potential area for it to end right now. So I'm not actually doing that. I'm seeing some more VIP messages, guys. I don't know if my assistant doesn't get back to you. I will at the end of this video once I upload the VIP video. But if it's gonna stop dumping eventually, then I think that this is the place right here. Okay, I'm gonna ban you, Riri. Your comments are really fucking annoying. Okay, bye. And so that's Ripple. What do I think about Ethereum? Ethereum's doing mainly the same thing as Bitcoin. The interesting thing with Ethereum is that, what is this? Oh my god. That's weird. Probably used the linear scale. Oh no, I don't know what the hell that is. Let's see if I can remove that. No, I can't remove that. No, that's really annoying me. I can't zoom into the one sorry, I can't keep that on my chart, otherwise I might go crazy. Okay, anyway, it's not there now. What happened with Ethereum, guys, let's overlay the Bitcoin chart with this, is that Ethereum was actually leading Bitcoin a little bit, but now it's just stalled massively. And so if we hide everything, we can see that Ethereum right now is at the same place that Bitcoin was. Ethereum at 174, looking at the left and the right. So the right price here is Ethereum, the left price here is Bitcoin. And the last time Ethereum was at this price level, Bitcoin was at $4,900. And so it's gone from Bitcoin it's gone from Ethereum leading the market to Bitcoin leading the market. I think it's just going to keep on switching. It's like, you've got a BMW M5 drag racing a Tesla Model S, not the P100D variant. And if I'm not mistaken, they're roughly the same speed. I might be quite mistaken there, actually. But, you know, it kind of be neck and neck. You know, one will go ahead for a few seconds, then the next one will go ahead. And that's how I'm seeing Ethereum and Bitcoin. I would like to see potentially Bitcoin dropping from the 6K range and Ethereum rallying higher. That's exactly what happened at the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. So that would be really cool. But yeah, Ethereum is really starting to lag behind. And so we are seeing a nice little separation from the rest of the market. That's Ethereum. I'm not going to look at Stratus. Actually, no, I want to see Stratus to laugh at it. Let's take a look at Stratus. Wrong chart there. Okay, so Stratus is still being sold off. Really, that's not a surprise, is it? Stratus, wow. Okay, so, okay, well, it's got VPVR support. Let's throw on the VPVR and show you that. Does have VP. This is the point of control. Oh god, never change crypto, never change. It's a drop. It's a drop down to get to the support, so I don't know why anyone would get excited about that. It's still going to drop by another 60%. It probably will drop. It's already dropped this floor. It's absolutely weak. It's the coin that's got HIV, and it's just being hit with every little disease that can kill it. And so yeah, I don't know why anyone would touch this. XR, I mean, Stratus to me is the one that promised a lot and then absolutely delivered on nothing. So that's the deal there. XRP stayed still for long, then boom in December 2017. Yeah, I mean, XRP, Litecoin, these coins, even Ethereum to a lesser extent, these coins move in their own way, and they just don't give a shit about what anyone says, what any analysis says. They just kind of explode whenever they feel like it. ETHUSD have a lot of wicks on the weekly chart. Is it a bear move? Thomas, no, that's not bearish, I don't think. Check Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just dropping by like $50. I mean, why is everyone getting excited by this? Yeah, like I like if this is like getting you wet or something like that, I can already tell like what your past 5 trades have been in terms of losses and various different things like that. I mean, I don't know why this would excite anybody. This is literally just moved by $100 and it's at 6,000, so that's not a big deal. I don't know why this is exciting to anyone. No, it's not dropping hard enough, is it? No, not at all. HIV coin. Yeah. Any thoughts on ADA? Let's take a look at ADA. I haven't looked at this for a while as well, only my analyst. But okay, so this has dropped from 10,000 Satoshis. Look at the 4-hour. Okay, so it's kind of moving like Litecoin. Oh, wow. Okay, well, it's dropped all the floors. There is no Fibonacci support here either. Yeah, so the 6786 retracement has already been dropped. Yeah. I mean, it looks to me like it can find a little bit of support right here at 940, but after that, it's down to the 800s. And if it breaks 800s, then where is it going? Then it's looking at potentially all-time lows. 700 Satoshis. If it drops below 600, then all-time lows, I think. Wow, I didn't think ADA would be this weak. It had a really strong rally. This is another situation which Bitcoin could end up repeating, where it just absolutely parabolically rises higher and then it just parabolically drops as well. Quite possible. Is it likely? I don't think so, because it has really good support areas, but it's certainly possible. It's certainly possible. Guys, I want fish and chips now. It's like 6 p.m. and it's a Friday, and so that's British culture. So I'm getting ready to go off. What's up with the title? There's nothing wrong with the title, is there? Comparing ADA with Bitcoin. Yeah, that's the leverage pair, so that's the only pair I'll look at. Okay, guys, yeah, I'm gonna head off with this one. I'll probably do a few more of these in the coming days and weeks. I did really enjoy this, and I hope you did as well. Jonathan saying fuck fish and chips. You just haven't tried it. No, I take mushy peas with it, not curry sauce. I don't. I get enough curry in my life being Indian. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for dropping by in the stream. It's been an absolute pleasure. Once again, if you do want to see how I'm trading, what trades I'm entering, the levels, and real-time updates on them, and various different things like that, then make sure to hit up the first link in the... No, I'm not ethnically British, no, but it doesn't really stop me from enjoying the culture at all. But yeah, amazing profits here, paying back the fee in 24 hours. This doesn't happen like every day, obviously, but when it does happen, it's really cool, and it happens more often than you'd expect. So the way to join is by hitting up the first link in the description down below, clicking on the app 4Flies, and then clicking on send message. This has been a really in-depth little video here, so shout out to everyone who is listening to this as a recording when you're driving to work and you're driving from West London to Central, and so it's taking you an hour to move a mile because you're stuck on the A40. And it's absolute torture, and you're considering maybe you should have taken the train or maybe you should have taken the bus because you can use bus lanes, but to be quite honest, driving is obviously better, and so you're just kind of stuck with it. But you've got 4Flies to accompany you for to give you some company for how long has it been now? An hour and 10? Yeah, nearly an hour and 10. So pretty cool there. So anyway, okay, I'm just getting carried away. I'm getting carried away. Okay, look at what you've done to me. I'm gonna head off now. I'm gonna go get those fish and chips, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm out. Peace.